this is a short video for practical kicking within Zhongxi Taijiquan. These same kicks that are in the forms can be utilized with your squat chow for setups or for defense or offensive action. The ones we're going to primarily focus on today are these four. And yes, you could say that there are some other movements as well, utilizing the shin to attack his lower leg or his thigh, things like that. But the thing with Tai Chi, it's very practical, and it's also in my opinion, it is a short range fighting style. So we're not trying to, the person's here, I'm not trying to kick them and stay away, right? Or I'm not trying to kick them and stay away, right? I'm trying to, again, I'm either using the kicks, if we're talking about application, and most of this is for functional fitness, so if you're watching the video and while he's talking about application, please watch it through because I'm going to show some examples of how to practice the kicks. But again, for the application part, I'm trying to kick to close the distance, or kick to maintain my positioning, or I'm trying to kick to help me to create space. But to utilize the kicks for long range attacks, that's not really something that I would do. And why I say that again, my objective with the Tai Chi is I'm going to utilize kicks and strikes to get some form of an attachment. And then from the attachment, I can borrow or use his force or strength that he's trying to provide, and or I can get that attachment and try to destabilize and break him down. Or I can get that attachment and utilize leg skills to trip him so he falls down. So I'm not interested in staying in some large range. The other thing too, a lot of self-defense stuff, right? Sometimes it's not going to be some just big open room like this. It may be in a confined area, or maybe it's in a restaurant, or inside a convenience store. There's not really a lot of room. Trying to do large kicks and things like that, or large movements, it may be a little more difficult. Again, we want to attach, adhere to the person to destabilize them, break them down, trip them to the ground. So the long range kicks, there's not really a reason to practice them if you're looking at it from that point of view for application. If you're doing it for functional fitness, if you can kick in this range, anywhere in there, right? That's good enough. I don't need to worry about kicking up here. Okay, I really want to develop the strength in my legs and my core, loosen up my back, those kind of things like that. So don't really utilize those kicks in that way. Now, if it was maybe a sanda competition, and you're a good kicker and you want to take on that strategy and you want to fight long range, you can easily do that. If you're going to Sandai and you're wanting to compete and you want to really emphasize the throwing, tripping aspects, then you would want to close the distance and use shorter or mid-range kicks to attack his legs and strike with your hands, in which to try to get control of his legs or his arms, in which to take him down. So we have to see it as a strategy point. So as it relates to the kicking, if you notice in the long form, now if you're new to the Tai Chi and you haven't really got too far yet, there are a couple of kicking sequences in the second set of the long form, and then there are some other kicks dispersed out through the form, right? So if you see it like this, the kicks are either going to be straight ahead, at a diagonal here, here, or here, right? And if you break it down like that, when you practice the movements, it will make it easier for you. And this is a great thing to add to your home practice, right? It'll really help you with your stability, the idea of being able to pivot and turn on the foot and things like that. So let's say like this, right? So, and you'll see the hands, right? Different type of hand gestures. Sometimes the hand thrusts out, sometimes it goes out like that. Sometimes it folds and comes over the top. Some people use those as a stabilizing point. I don't like to use my arms for kicking, meaning this way, right? Or I'm going to kick here. But a lot of people to do like an outside wheel kick, a round kick, they will drop the hands really to get that off. I don't really do that, and yes, there's probably a trade-off on some power, but I would rather kick here and be able to land and strike, or to protect from a strike, to be able to wrap this arm to control him so that I can get control of him to take him down. If you look at it from that standpoint. So if I see my kicks like this, and you should be able to kick off the lead or the rear. A lot of people, they want this extra momentum to get the leg going, and of course you can utilize it that way. I always say you try to do it both ways. So let's say I'm here, and again, you've got 4 primary kicks. A vertical kick, the toes pointing up. The foot turned out like this, right? In here. And then the foot turned in this way. There's not really a side kick in Chongqing Tai Chi, meaning where I turn my whole body over to the side. There's not anything like that. It doesn't mean you couldn't use it. But the reason why this kick is this way instead of this way is because it's so much easier to grab a side kick. Kicking this way, it's easier for the person to scoop up your leg. So it's avoided. Kicking this way, I can still turn my hip to the side if I want to go to the flank. The same thing, this kick here is a great kick to lead in because it's much more difficult for the person, like if I do just the front kick this way, my groin will say it's more exposed. If I kick this way, in here, it's harder for the leg to come up the front. It's also harder to catch it. A front kick is, it's not as hard to catch as a side kick, but it still can be caught. And then the toe kick. In the toe kick, remember in Kung Fu in general, we wear shoes. So utilizing the tip of your shoe, whether it's a dress shoe or a casual shoe or what have you, a boot, you can utilize the toe as a way to attack, whether I'm kicking in his shin, or maybe I kick to the inside of his leg in here, or maybe I kick to the bladder, so, those kind of things like that. If you're doing this for functional fitness, you still want to think about the action that you're doing, right? I'm kicking, right? Have that intention in your mind, and it makes it, it'll make your body engage the action. So again, let's say I'm here and I'm going to do this kick off the lead, right? And again, I don't use my hands, but I would rather keep my hands here in one place, is what I'm getting at. I don't need to do this action. You can think of it as a feint too, go like this or go like this, and get them to provoke them a little bit, and then it's easier to get you kicking, right? Or even these kind where the hand thrusts out, right? Is I drive the hand out, maybe I get him to at least focus on the hand movement, right? So I come here, boom, make my kick come out, right? Or thrusting the hand out, I thrust the hand out, and I can get the kick off. If you see it like that or apply it like that, to me that makes more sense. Again, I don't want to rely on the hands for me to be able to kick. I want to be able to just get that leg up there. For stability, and then you're coming to this for functional fitness, and you're new to it, use those hands if you need to in the beginning stages to help you to pull that leg up, right? If I connect the elbow to the knee, and then open the hands when the foot comes out, it'll help you. But we really want to focus on having that stability point without having to utilize the arms. Back in the 90s, I used to do savate. Savate is a French kickboxing style. And, back in the day, these would be, they would use these large movements to counterbalance when they make a kick, right? And then after a period of time, there's still some of those that are used, especially for this inside edge kick this way, which is very painful. They still use these force actions. But most of the stuff now is drawing the elbows in to engage the hip, right? So I can engage the core. So anyway, I'm not trying to get off on a tangent, but the most important part of the kicking is focus on those 4 kicks. The toe, vertical kick, kind of a outside cross or inverted kick, and an inside. Those 4 right there. If you can work on those and utilize these different positions. And so look, a toe kick here, and then look, I can practice this and go all the way around in the front. So toe kick here, toe kick here, toe kick here, and then turn and kick here, right? So if you think, again, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? If I do it from this side, 1, 2, 1, 2. I can do it this way too. So I'm standing here like this, and I'll do it off either back, right? So 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, turn, 1, 1. It's okay if you lose your balance, right? Sometimes, like right there, right? I did like this a little. Don't worry about that kind of stuff. That's an opportunity for you to look at your balance in a dynamic way instead of static, right? We don't want to have to fight this. We don't want our body to tighten up and contract when we do kicks. If you think, breathe in and exhale. Use the mass of the body, the powerful muscles in the legs to execute that force. Okay? Don't think I've got to stiffen up when I do it, right? A lot of people do that, or they'll hold their breath when they do the move. They just think, inhale, exhale. When I said earlier, if you're doing it for functional fitness, it's fine. Get down here. Right? Pick here. If you're older, you don't feel like you have great stability. Say, for example, there's a toe kick in the second, well, there's actually 2 toe kicks in the second set. So you did this toe kick here, and then you pivot, right? We pivot to turn to execute this other kick. So if you're older and you don't feel like you are ready yet to try to make the pivots, just rest the foot, and then you can come up again and make the kick, right? So here, kick, pivot, kick. A trick to, if you want to call it a trick, it's just basically using the body better. But a lot of times it's hard to turn around for that kick, even if you're younger and you're, you have the strength and all of that. To be able to kick here and do this kick, sometimes it pulls you backwards and pulls you forward. If you use this hand and elbow and make this motion with the leg, your body connects better. Meaning, like, here's the toe kick, right? And then look, I'm going to turn, toe kick. I turn, and I lift the hand up and out. See? Even if I do it this way, harder. If I do it this way, kick. It helps. But again, some styles don't even turn and pivot with the foot in the air to execute the kick. They will come here and then come here, or maybe they do the hands again, or maybe they don't. And then they execute the kick, and then I can do it and practice this, the better. Now there's another kick, right? And it turns all the way around, right? So this is after Twin Peaks. There is a kick here, and then I'm going to turn. Try not to put your foot in too far or you'll lock your hips, right? So when I do the kick, I want to put my foot in front of the other one, okay? Like this. Good example. This way, right? So I did the thrusting kick, and I'm going to drop the foot in front of the other, and then I'm going to use that to turn me. Right? So kick, turn, kick, kick, turn, kick. Kick, turn, kick. And also with the hands with this, you can use the hands to help you to connect the body. I'm not using them for balance per se, I'm using them to connect the body parts together better, if that makes any sense. So from here, look, I pull in and then out. Right? Here, kick, pull in and out. Kick, pull in, and out. It doesn't matter how fast you practice the kicks. You can practice them slow, you can practice them fast, you can practice them hard, and you should. Because each one of those things is going to affect your stability and your balance better. So you can also utilize your golden rooster this way. To kind of help you to coordinate this hand and leg, if you want to do it that way. You can also do these kind, right? Kick out, 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 kick out. Some people feel good with that connection. Again, I should easily be able to kick here, kick here, kick here, turn and kick, without really using my arms. I want my arms to be able to use for offensive attacks, for control, for counters, instead of me taking the time to use them to help to stabilize me or generate that little bit of additional power. In other words, I'm not relying on the kicks to necessarily to deal with the person by themselves. Now, some people have super powerful kicks, right? And like you kick you one time in the leg, and you fall over. And not saying that's not possible or plausible, but I don't want to just necessarily rely on that. The other thing too. A lot of the kicks that people practice and the way that they practice them, it's they hyperextend the knee, or when they do side kicks, the kick comes up so high to the side that if you think of the pelvis and the femur, you're just jamming. There are many martial art instructors out there, I'm in my mid-50s, that are my age that had or need knee or hip operations to repair all of the damage that they've created with their bodies. I don't recommend doing anything where I'm snapping. See, when I do a toe kick, I point with it. Okay? I point with it. I don't do it this way. It's really bad on the joint. Even if I'm doing some of the other kicks that we do, especially, we'll say in the Chang Taijiquan, not just in the functional fitness. But this way too, they'll come through like this and they really snap the leg. Instead of leaving it loose and just swinging the mass using your momentum, right? Momentum is speed and the mass of the body so that you strike them with it, right? Instead of trying to also overload it by snapping it. And by snapping it, again, it's really bad on the knee joint. and kicks where I'm driving and I'm lifting the leg too far to the side, anything above, we'll say, like if this is where my femur attaches, I don't really want to go up higher than that. Okay? Anything where I start to change the angle and it's going this way, I'm going to put all this undue stress into this hip, as well as this one, right? Because now I'm lifting this and I'm putting it in a, we'll say, not in the best of angles. So when I do that, now this one rolls out, but it rolls out the opposite way. So you cause all of this additional inflammation and potential damage to the cartilage and the joint itself. Just because it's something that somebody does, and it's this or that, and it's too, wow, he's really great at that kick. Okay, but what is it going to do to my body? If you already have hip problems or knee problems, you don't want to exacerbate it. If you're younger and you're doing Chang Tai Chi and you're doing squat chow, you don't want to damage your joints. Again, I'm 55 years old. I have no hip problems, no knee problems, no ankle, no joint problems. Okay, I don't even have any bad back problems, and I feel that that's for two reasons. One, keeping my joints loose and open, learning to relax my body instead of tense it out, right? When I was talking earlier about kicking and tensing the body, like that, and I can do the same thing. I can get that same core rotation and generating power out of it by leaving everything loose and relaxed. Yes, I want to, we'll say, create some additional contraction at the end of the motion to stabilize it. But that doesn't mean, again, that I need to do that through the whole action of the movement. Think of it from this way, right? You're going to hit something with force, right? This force that you're creating, your body is all tensed up, meaning the connective tissue is all taut and everything is kind of, it's hardened, right? And then you're going to make impact with something. Well, now all of that force has nowhere to go. You're contracting the body so that you can't disperse it. You have to be able to either do that move and right away just to let it go. If you don't, all of that additional force of you kicking someone in the leg or punching them, if you don't release, if you don't let it be able to release and disperse down through the body and into the feet, you're going to cause problems. It's the same way when I just talked before about people when they round the lower back and then they're hitting something or pushing something or something pushes against them. Now you created all this tension here in this one spot and you're pinching your spine. Where is that force going to go? It can't go down into the body. Well, some of it will, but the large majority of it won't. It will come right here and you're putting all of that there. It may not hurt you the first time you do it, but after several, we'll say even years, or even you might hurt yourself the first time, you catch it just right and pinch your nerve really bad, or damage a disc. It's training in martial arts in general. There's a lot of times where you can hurt yourself. Now, as it relates to muscles, getting bruises in the muscles and things like that. It's so much, it may be sore for a few days and all of that kind of stuff, but it will recover. But you keep hammering into your joints, you're going to hurt. So, believe me or not, and if not, that's fine. You may be one of those people that's just genetically gifted and they have super, heavy-duty joints. Okay, that being said, again, I want to think about raising the leg, point to toe,